Hello, Steve.
This is Steve. Hey.
Wolfman Jack is on the line tonight here. Dimitris Antonopoulos from Channel 1.
Wolfman Jack is on the line tonight.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Just fine. So, bring the magic, Steve. Tell us about crossing Dragon Bridge.
What can I tell you? I'm really happy with the record. It's very nice when you try out new ideas and new sounds, and it works, and it feels good. You know, it's a lot more satisfying than doing the same thing over and over again and knowing you can do that. I don't know, this record. I was very excited about going to Slovenia and working with Chris Ekman and trying out combining the music that I make with new sounds, with orchestration, with things like Slovenian women choirs and Prague violin sections and things that normally I wouldn't work with, and that it felt at the end of the day like more like the sound that I would have inside my head when I write songs than ever before. Well, that felt satisfying.
All I do is dream inside my radio, you said on Bring the Magic. So give us a picture from the US radio at the time, nowadays.
Well, it's funny, I hardly ever listen to radio. I moved to New York City 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And when I moved here, I sold my car. I mean, you don't need a car when you live in Manhattan. Your car is your subway. And, but I grew up in Los Angeles, and Los Angeles is a car city. You have to have a car.
Yeah.
And if I could add up all the hours I spent inside cars, I don't know, the number would be a number I probably can't count that high. But I spent, a lot of time driving down the road and, just kind of aimlessly and looking at the world around you and observing everything beyond your windshield like you're watching a movie. And Bring the Magic is kind of about that feeling, about just driving with no place in mind that you're going to, just kind of taking in everything around you.
A great song. A really great song. You're back home after a tour in Europe. Give us a picture, give us the feeling, the atmosphere, from this tour.
The tour was really wonderful, and it was really an exciting tour. In fact, I'm sad that I didn't bring this band to Greece. We toured last fall around Northern Europe, and we just did this tour in Spain. Maybe still we'll have a chance to do the show down there, but I'm touring right now, with kind of a bigger band, using things like upright bass and violin and keyboards, and it really has just a very big full sound that feels like a lot of the stuff on the new record. And we had a great time. We just, the excitement of playing with a band like that isn't just playing the new songs, but it's trying to play the old songs in a way that fits in with that sound. And it's always, it's exciting to reinvent your history to suit what you're doing now.
Yeah. Steve, can you give us a picture from the past days, from your beginning with the Dream Syndicate 3 decades ago? About the music scene.
Well, it's a long time ago, isn't it?
Yeah.
That Days of Wine and Roses now is 27 years ago, which is hard to believe because it feels like just yesterday.
A classic record. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like just yesterday, and a lot of things have changed, of course. When we made that record, there was no such thing as CDs. Nobody knew what the internet was. It was so things were very different. But the funny thing is, for all the differences, for all the different new ways, new technology, and new things you're thinking about, and the way people experience music, it's really the same thing. It's just trying to put across an emotion, a thing you're feeling, something that excites you at that moment, and making it something that can be understood by people who listen to your music. That hasn't changed. That's the same as it was 1,000 years ago. And there will always be new ways of getting the music to people. Maybe 1,000 years ago, I would have been walking from village to village with a lute. Now I can download it on the internet.
Yeah.
But you're still dealing with the same human emotions.
Yeah. I think that your Bonnie and Clyde cover by Serge Gainsbourg was really beautiful. A really great cover. And Dave Berry's This Strange Effect too. Can you tell us some things about these covers of yours?
Yeah, I used to do a lot more covers, and I think that the larger my catalog became, my own personal songwriting catalog, the more I was inclined to just cover myself. But every so often I'll do a new cover, and it's always fun. Like on the new record, on Crossing Dragon Bridge, I do a cover of a song by a very well-known Slovenian songwriter named Tomasz Pengov, a song called She Came, the translation of his song. And, it's always fun to interpret somebody else's music. I think maybe you have a little more liberation, you're a little more free because you don't have the preconception of what the song is all about. But yeah, I look over my history, and Bonnie and Clyde was a good one, and This Strange Effect, I was really proud of that one because it was so different. All I had was I don't think that was ever released by the Kinks, but it was an old scratchy demo, and I kind of turned it into my own song. Those are the ones that are the most satisfying, when you really turn a song inside out and make it your own.
Yeah. What about the legendary voice of the Cramps? Passed away some days ago, yeah. Can you tell us?
It's always sad to hear that. I was a big fan of the Cramps.
Me too.
Yeah, I know, and I think they played Greece quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
I know there are a lot of people in Greece really liked them, and everyone around the world liked them. There's no, when punk rock came out, there were a few bands that took that spirit and made it their own, and made something very unique. And there's no band like the Cramps. Those records are great. You know what? I mean, not only I love the Cramps and how Lux Interior was one of my favorite singers. Not only that, but what was so great about them is just how many great covers they did, how many songs they took from complete obscurity and made them known to everybody. I love that series of songs the Cramps taught us.
Yeah, me too.
It's great, right? You're amazed how many great songs they pretty much made available to people.
Yeah, I think you remember.
We wouldn't know about all these songs. They were not only a great band, but they were like teachers. It was like they were like professors of great old music.
Exactly. I remember I'm 5 years ahead of my time by Third Bardo, a great version by the Cramps. Great cover.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a great one.
Yeah.
And even like Green Fuzz too. That's so funny. I used to love that song anyway before the Cramps version because I had the Pebbles collection. But it's cool they covered that song and hopefully made a few dollars for some obscure band from Texas.
Exactly.
But Lux Interior was an amazing performer. The last time I saw him live was 30 years ago. It's crazy. So I'm sad that it's I always say you have to go out and see these people who've been around forever. You have to see them when they come to your town because you never know when the last chance will be.
Yeah.
I'm going to see Leonard Cohen next week here in New York.
That's wonderful.
And I hope he's alive for another 30 years. I hope he's I hope he's writing great songs forever. But you have to see these people while you can.
Just like John Martin.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
And another case where just both John Martin and Lux Interior were way too young. It's like they were both in their early 60s.
Yeah.
And it's sad because I think about Bob Dylan, who's I'm a huge fan of Bob Dylan, like everyone. And he still plays all the time. I try to see him whenever I can. And he's it's hard to imagine a world without Bob Dylan, but that'll happen someday. And the fact that you can see him and you can see him live, it shouldn't be taken for granted.
You're right. So, Steve, as you know, you have a very good audience here in Greece for many years. Can we expect an Athens gig of yours maybe soon?
Well, probably not this year, because this year I'm going to be off the road mostly, and I'm going to be working on new material and making a new record. And so probably this is my year of unpacking the suitcase and staying home for a while. But next year I'm sure I'll be back on the road, and yes, of course, I'm always... I've had so many shows in Greece and Athens in particular that just I'll remember forever. In fact, the most recent one was playing that last night at Rodon. It was a great honor. It was an incredible honor to be able to be the last band to play there.
The last.
When I knew that was going to, that's a show I'll remember forever. And then I have many more memories like that. So I hope to have many more ahead. And I think next year probably will be some new show, something special.
Okay, Steve. So thank you very much for your time for this interview. It was a pleasure.
My pleasure.